This is Random Randy Savage from Code 45 Podcast, and you're listening to the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network.
Broadcasting very fast and very dangerous from the planet Malastare. You are listening to So Wizard.
You're thinking, people gonna die?
The only podcast to make the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
What's going on, everybody? It is time for episode number 270 of the So Wizard podcast. I'm your host, Joey DiCarlo. With me, in person, my co-hosts, the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
You know, I knew what my intro was going to be, and now I'm on the spot and I forgot.
You tried your best and failed miserably. The lesson
I have failed
is
you,
to
New
never
York.
try. You have failed this city. And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
Live from New York, it is So Wizard Podcast. What is going on, everybody?
You are listening to So Wizard Podcast. Three friends discuss the world of nerd, podcasting weekly on the Geek World All-Stars Podcast Network. This week, we are live in our hotel room from New York City as we are attending New York Comic-Con. So for the first time ever, we will be recording a real podcast episode while staring at each other and talking about our time here at the show. So, yeah. How's everybody doing? Aubrey, how are you?
I'm good.
I'm going to put a plate of spaghetti down in front of us so that we can all, like, Lady and the Tramp.
It's got to be like Elf, too, where it's like chocolate syrup and Pop-Tarts and nastiness all mixed in.
We haven't eaten breakfast yet. Aubrey starts talking about food and Pop-Tarts. So.
Yeah. Hypoglycemia is kicking in. We're all sluggish.
Marcellus, how are you?
I'm great. I got a good night's sleep for the first time in, 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Probably snored. I don't care.
I didn't hear you snore. I was just trying not to wake you up.
I heard you snore.
Good. That means it worked. But yeah, I'm good. I had a good time so far. We're still in the middle of it right now, so we haven't had a chance to really get a lot of stuff. But so far, it's good. It's good. I'm enjoying myself. What about you, Joey?
I am still in a perpetual state of tired, as usual. I've been here since Wednesday night. It is Saturday morning as we record this. I have not slept in a bed since. Every hotel room I've stayed in, this is the third hotel room now in 3 days, I have slept on the floor. And that's fine. There's no way in hell I was going to make Mark or Aubrey sleep on the floor, and it's fine. And then I'll get into the other nights, but there's been no mattress. Like, I didn't bring like an air mattress or like anything to sleep on. I'm literally like just on the floor with pillows and a blanket. So it's fine. It's fine. It reminds me of the old days when I used to be in a band and we'd go on tour, but I'm not 22 anymore. So, I wake up a little sore in the morning.
Now, one thing about New York is that everything is a lot smaller. So even if we had an air mattress, I'm not sure where we would put it.
I could like lean it up against your bed and like kind of be upside down or something. I don't know.
Sleep in a bathtub.
Yeah.
It'd be like a V shape against the weird closet thing.
Right.
So you would be sleeping like with your legs in the air.
Yeah.
Back against the wall, legs in the air.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that thing is. Is it some
Contain
sort of-
yourselves, female listeners. It didn't happen.
In all fairness, I did give you like everything off of my bed because I was so petrified of whatever bugs were in this bed.
For the record, there are no bugs here. This is a very nice hotel. And it's very convenient, close to the convention, and not incredibly, terribly overpriced.
Everything in New York City is overpriced if you don't live here. So
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Yes, hotel, if you're listening, we're not angry with you, even though your sink has mold in it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Now I'm angry. Yeah. I want my money back, goddammit.
In all fairness, I'm just afraid of germs altogether, so
So
I'm biased.
This is worst case scenario.
you came to the wrong place.
What have we done?
I'm just a biased customer.
All right. So Aubrey, talk a little bit about your trip into New York City.
So I took the train from Virginia. You could take a train from Virginia to New York City. So I took a straight train. I didn't even have to change trains. So I got on the train at almost 7 o'clock. I was at the train station at 6 o'clock because my brother had to be to work. So he dropped me off, and I got on, and I had coffee, and I sat there for a good 6 hours. I fell asleep.
Contemplating life.
Yeah.
Thinking about your choices you made.
I brought 2 books and my tablet, and I tried to read, but I was so tired because, of course, I forgot to pack socks. So I had to go to the store. I had to go to the store after I got out of work because I worked on Thursday. And after I got out of work at 10:30, we had to go to Walmart because it's the only place that's open and get socks. So I got these really cool Ghostbuster socks.
Nice.
We sat there and we contemplated whether I wanted to get Star Wars and Lilo and Stitch or Ghostbusters, and I decided I had too many Star Wars socks.
Is there such a thing as too many Star Wars socks?
So I got Ghostbusters socks, and then we got a whole bunch of Pokemon cards, and so we spent a long time opening up Pokemon cards. So by the time we got home, it was midnight. And so then I had to wake up at 5 o'clock and get ready to go to the train station. So me and my brother were really tired in the morning.
Oh.
So, got on the train. I was trying to read my book to finish it so then I could get into the second book, which was The Institute, which I had suggested.
Yep.
Which I had started reading, but I haven't gotten too far into it. So I fell asleep on the train, and some lady decided to drop her enormous tote on me to wake me up, and then told me that there was no place to sit. And I look, and there's a seat right next to us, and then a seat in front of us. I'm like, okay. I wasn't really like taking up the seat next to me. My knee was just like slightly over.
She just wanted to be close to you.
Yeah,
That's
she just wanted to be an asshole. So I was like, okay, nah, I mean, I'll move. It was so unnecessary.
Wanna be close to
Yeah.
you.
And then she didn't even sit there. She just
She's just an asshole that goes around waking people up.
she just woke me up and talked about how there was nowhere else to sit, and then got off at the next stop. Even though when they scanned her ticket, they said she was getting off at New York. So I don't know what the fuck she was doing. So whatever. And then I got in at 12, and then I wandered around the train station. I got lost in the train station because I saw a dog.
right. Puppy. Oh,
Yeah.
little puppy.
And then I got scared because there was a heavy police presence.
Yeah. That was attached to the cute little puppy, right?
Yeah. And then there was a lot of homeless people and and a lot of people with facial tattoos. And then the homeless people started coming after me. And then there was people going through the garbage, and I was like, oh no, I have picked the wrong side of the train station. Please, Mark, find me. So then Mark found me in the corner.
Huddled down in tears.
Yeah.
Looking
The
for
best part is Aubrey's messaging us. I'm here, and I'm at the train station, and me and Mark I don't know what we were doing. I'm like, she'll be fine. She can just walk here.
Like, yeah, who's going to go get Aubrey at 12 o'clock? She's fine. She'll find her way here. It's a convention. It's fine.
Mark was like, no, we can't leave her alone.
Oh, my God.
And I'm scared in the corner behind a pillar. And then he finds me and I tackle him. Thank you for finding me. I'm sending them gifts of Ralph Wiggum. I'm
Now-
in danger.
Now, to be fair, they're doing a promotion. They're doing a Walking Dead promotion at the train station, or pretty much at Madison Square Garden, around that area. So it could have been homeless people, but it could have been people dressed as zombies too. 'Cause I saw one girl, and I'm like, man, she's kind of cute to be a homeless chick. I mean, she was filthy. Really, really filthy. Like,
Hey,
man,
girl,
what
you want somewhere to sleep tonight?
like, what happened? What happened to her?
I don't think we
life?
could fit somebody else in here. To be quite honest.
We'll make it work.
I did take a video of one homeless man following me through the train
I'm
station.
pretty sure it's a zombie. Or a guy cosplaying as a zombie from
I
Walking
don't
Dead.
know.
Want some flesh to munch on, baby?
He's pretty creepy.
All right, so Joey, how about you, dude? I mean, I know you've been here for a
Yeah.
few days before us.
I worked Tuesday into Wednesday, so I got home from work at 7 a.m. on Wednesday. And I didn't go to sleep because I just had too much shit to do.
Yep.
I got myself all ready, and I went to my sister's house where I left my car. She lives in Connecticut. And then Derek and some of my other friends, Cowboy Rich, the notorious WAG, Jay Gibby, we all rolled into New York City. It took us about 4 hours to get here.
Was Derek driving?
By car. Yeah, by car.
and it took 4 hours? Jesus.
Yeah. There's a lot of traffic
Oh,
and,
okay.
and stuff. We did stop and grab something to eat real quick too.
Okay.
So, and yeah, just made it into the city, and we went to the con on. We went to the con on Thursday before you guys got here.
Right now, Thursday's supposed to be like the quiet day, which is why they always have badges for sale, which is how, like, you know, Gibby was able to get his badge like last week.
Yep.
So what was it like on Thursday? Was it quiet?
Quiet is a relative term when you're talking about New York Comic Con, but because there's about 250 plus thousand people here. It was crazy for a Thursday. Usually
Really?
Thursdays, like you said, are quiet. We can walk around and get things done, you know, go up and down Artist Alley, get everything we want to do done and out of the way.
Right.
And it was nuts at times. It seemed like 10 times busier. It felt like Friday last year on Thursday. There was a point we were walking in Artist Alley and it was just packed and it was so hot. And I'm just like, I don't want to be here anymore. And I just like walked back upstairs.
Was that this year or last year?
It was last year. Last year was no. Last year was fine. This year was the year it was just so packed. So, and I spent so Justin we're friends with Justin and Nick and Loisos from the Epic Film Guys podcast, and Justin messaged me. He's like, "Hey, like, can I help you, sir?" And he's like, "You're going to New York Comic Con?" I'm like, "Yes. You want this Batman poster, don't you?"
Oh, wow.
So it was a limited edition Batman poster that they had at some booth. And I was like, yeah, I'll grab it for you. Because I'm thinking in my mind, it's a poster. It's not like a signing or a big thing. It's a booth selling fucking posters. So
Right.
how long can the fucking line be, right? And it's Thursday.
Yeah.
So I go up to the booth and I confirm it's the right booth. And I look and there's the poster. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'll grab one of those. And they're like, yeah, cool. No problem. The line's back there. And I walk and it went 2 rows over and up to the back wall.
Holy shit.
And I'm like, fuck, but I wanted to get them the poster. You know, they're cool dudes. So I get in the line. I'm like, how long can the line be? You know, how long can this take? There's nobody signing anything. It's just, it's walk up to the booth, say, I'll take that. They roll it, you pay, you leave.
Yep.
2.5 hours later, I finally got up to the front and I could see why it took so long. The people working at the booth were moving in the speeds of stop and slow. And like, they were nice guys. Posters are cool. But the guy's like rolling the poster up and he's like talking to me and he's taking his time. And I'm like thinking to myself, I want to be like, hey, dude, you know, there's a line that's 2.5 fucking hours long over there. You might want to like pick up the pace, but no. And then somebody, while he's rolling my poster, somebody brought Starbucks for the people at the booth. And then
They all stopped.
He stopped rolling my poster, went and got his Starbucks, and they all had to hand it out. And who's got this? And who's got that? Oh, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? But I got the poster, so I've been lugging around this poster for 4 days for Justin, and I'm gonna mail it to him when I get home. So that was my big thing on Thursday. That I didn't have anything else I wanted to get done. I really just wandered around checking stuff out. So.
Yeah, what about your I know you're posting a lot about your comic book. You wanted to get that John Byrne books that you were searching for.
Right. So superstar legendary artist John Byrne does not do a lot of cons, and he was signing at this one. But there was a caveat to it. They had a $200 John Byrne Marvel art book that came out through IDW. So if you bought that book, he would sign it in 5 comic books. And it could be any comics that he worked on. Because sometimes he'll do signings and he won't sign older stuff, like when he was on X-Men or Hulk or Avengers.
Yeah.
He'll only sign his newer, crappy comics that no one likes. Because that's what he's been doing. Is he makes these Star Trek comics that are like, he draws the backgrounds.
Yeah.
But all the characters are like cut out pictures.
Yeah,
of
I've seen that.
The cast from the original series, and he makes comics out of them. good for him. The guy is a living legend. He can do whatever he wants.
That's right.
I don't want to read that shit. And I don't want to get that shit signed because who the fuck cares? It's garbage. So this was an opportunity to actually get stuff signed. So, Derek bought the book and he was going to get 5 books signed. And I'm like, if I throw you some money, can I get 1 book signed? He's like, sure. So we go and we pick up the art book. It's like huge.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, the first signing is at 1:00. So I literally got Justin's poster at like 12:57. I was so worried I was going to miss the signing. Mm-hmm. And Derek's like, all right, meet me at the IDW booth. I'm heading over there right now. So we both get to the booth and there's the line and the girl's like, yeah, the line's capped.
Oh.
Like, what do you mean the line's capped?
You got a book.
Derek's like starting to get fucking angry. He's like, what do you mean the line's capped? Like we bought it. He's like, not to be a dick, but we bought a $200 book specifically to get it and these comics autographed. Like if we weren't going to get the autograph, we wouldn't have bought a fucking $200 book. And she's like, oh, well, there's another signing at 5:00. You can come back. Mm-hmm. All right. So, we're farting around and it's like 3:30. Derek's like, I don't know. We should probably go get in line for the signing.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, well, let's just roll over there and see what's going on. There are already like 20 people in line.
Okay.
We got in line about like 4:15 and 2 minutes later they capped the line.
Jesus Christ,
so
dude.
We almost missed out. I was almost getting the autographs today or yesterday by myself. But yeah, he's a notorious asshole. He has such a reputation for being an asshole. So we both wanted to get Incredible Hulk issue 316, which is my favorite single issue of a comic ever signed. It's where the Hulk fights Wonder Man, Hercules, Iron Man, and Submariner. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal. But I'm like, he's a jerk. What if he won't sign 2 of the same book? Mm-hmm. Like, he just might go, I'm not fucking signing it. And then we're asked out. So I bought 2 books.
Just in case.
Because I had a second one that was a different book just to be safe. Mm-hmm. But no, we got up to him. We got around the corner. The only rules were like, have the books out, have them out of boards and bags. We got up to him, get to shake his hand, talk to him a little bit. And he was super nice. He signed everything. He was really cool. He was taking pictures with people, but he wasn't coming out from behind the table. So he kept having to stand up.
Yeah.
And we really wanted to get a picture, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to ask this guy to stand up over and over again like an asshole. So, and he was being really cool, so I didn't want to ruin it. So that was fine. So I did get to tell him, he was the first artist I remember as a kid, like knowing what their name was. Mm-hmm. So when he would move to a book, then I was like, well, I'm buying that fucking book. Mm-hmm. Like, that's why I would buy Alpha Flight when I was a kid. I didn't fucking like Alpha Flight, but, he was writing it, so he was really, really cool. So that was my big Thursday thing. That was it.
That's awesome, dude. The first artist that I ever like really noticed was Jerry Ordway. So I was really psyched when
he was at the restaurant last night with Mitch from Terrificon.
No shit.
Yeah.
What's up, Mitch? I didn't know. That's cool. That's cool that they're in town. Yeah, I didn't really get a chance to do anything super major like I wanted to do. I'm kind of saving that for today, but I did get to do an interview with Jeff Annison from Legion M. Me and Wally Hawk both like applied to interview him at the same time, and Wally Hawk got the Adam got the okay to do it. So then when I emailed them to do an interview, they were like, we were already set up with So Was Our Podcast, and I'm like, oh yeah. We knew that. We knew that. We were just there's a miscommunication. So me and Adam both went and interviewed Jeff, and it was really cool. He's co-founders and president of Legion M. And the whole thing is, after seeing their ads for like 5 years or so, not really knowing what it was about, they were pretty much just trying to help geeks make movies, which is great.
I thought when I got the email from them, I'm like, this is like a Mark written all over it.
Yeah.
Like, he needs to go talk to these guys. So.
Yeah. Because I didn't, and like I said, I've seen the thing for years. I never really looked into it. But
first, you had to try to get out in front of Adam, who was just saying yes to everything. So.
Well, one of the funny things about, well, not funny, but one of the things about the interview is that it was all done video. Like I didn't do any audio recording at all. Because Adam already had the setup for the video. So it's a video of me and Adam interviewing this guy.
Cool.
Which is going to be the first and last time you ever see Marcellus Reagan's do an interview on video.
I actually bought their t-shirt.
Oh, you got the Alien shirt, right?
I did, yes.
Nice.
So Noah loves Alien. Even though he's never seen the movie, he loves Alien and Chestbursters and Facehuggers, and he knows all of them. Mm-hmm. So I got that email, and I was like, I gotta buy that t-shirt. Even though it'll never fit him, I gotta buy that t-shirt, so I went and I bought that t-shirt.
It'll fit him at some point.
I think that's just how kids are, because my nephew's obsessed with like Michael Myers and Halloween and like slasher movie characters, but
Yeah.
he's never seen a single one of those movies.
Yeah.
And I think if he did, he probably wouldn't sleep for like 3 weeks. But
That's one of those things where it's so in pop culture that it's hard to miss
Right.
it. So even kids
Right.
are going to see it eventually. So
Right.
I can understand him being drawn to it. He's going to turn 13, 14 one day and watch those movies, and it changes world.
right. Or he'll still be scared.
Like
So,
Aubrey.
Yeah. So Thursday night, I was in New York. All my friends that I went with, my non-podcast friends, left, and I was alone in the city. So I ended up meeting up with Dave and John from Superhero Speak, who were the nicest people on the face of the earth, and let me sleep on the floor of their hotel room that night. And yeah, hung out with them a little bit, and then you guys all met me here yesterday.
Yeah. And we got to also see
Randy.
John. Yep. And Randy. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw. Oh, yeah. So, Random Randy Savage from Cult 45 podcast was here, and we hung out with them yesterday. We met up with Ghosts of the Stratosphere and Ocho Duro Parlay Hour. We met up with Pint of Comics. So we met up with those guys for a little podcasting powwow, which was really nice. It was cool to meet people in person that you've never. Like, you feel like you know them because you listen to their show and you hear their voices, but then you meet them in meat space, and there's like the voices coming out of their body. It kind of freaks you out a little bit sometimes. Yeah, I was down at Artist Alley earlier in the day. I talked to Adam Walinta a little bit. I saw Matt Man and everybody at Monarch Comics. They all want us to come interview them, and I'm like, I'll try, but I have no idea what those guys' schedules look like. And you also have to remember, anything you want to do at New York, it's like a half an hour walk.
Yeah.
In the same building, in the Javits. So, like, I'm like, all right, I got a panel, and it's downstairs over there at 12:30. At 11:45, you need to start heading down there.
You better start booking and don't get lost.
No.
We'll do
Like
a
me.
Facebook Live video of us
Yeah.
down there
With
our awkwardness.
Speaking of that, I was in a panel with Adam and Jackie, his wife, and Randy for IDW Comics, and Adam filmed the whole panel, so that'll be up on our YouTube channel. But like halfway through the panel, I'm like, fuck, I had to go to the bathroom so bad
Yeah.
out of nowhere. I had continental breakfast at Superhero Speaks Hotel, and I gotta be honest with you, it was pretty fucking gross. It was like dry, nasty sausage patties and like gross eggs.
Wow. I'm not even going to mention what our continental breakfast is going to look like.
It's not. There isn't one.
There's something.
Is there?
Oh, yeah. It's not as good as that, as what Joy's
It's a
describing.
can of
Where-
it's a can of beans with a
Where
fucking
would it even
spoon
be
in it.
served? There's no room downstairs.
So I ate that just because it was free. So I just fucking pigged out on it, and I was fine. And then all of a sudden, I know where my stomach was like, "It is time." So I'm like, I gotta go. And we have press access to the show, so there's a private press room where there's a private bathroom for press people. I mean, it's just another bathroom that's smaller than all the other bathrooms, but there's no line. That's the important thing. There's no line to use
There's
it.
no line for men.
Well, there's only one stall. There's one stall and one urinal, so I waited in line anyway. So, but not 75 people deep to use the bathroom. So I'm
Yeah.
standing there. But I'm like, I'm in Artist Alley, and this bathroom is on the other end of the Javits Center. I am trying not to shit myself, and I'm like, I got to make it through all these people. And then it was at the height of Friday, so it's
Yeah.
like. I get out into the main hallway, and Chevrolet has like a display where they have a DJ playing music and people are dancing. For some reason, this was the time when 5 or 6 cosplayers were dancing to Bohemian Rhapsody with a huge crowd watching them singing along.
Yeah.
And I'm desperately trying to go through them because I thought, I'm going to shit myself, and I'm going to have to walk back to the hotel covered in feces and take a shower and change and then throw my clothes away in a bathroom.
There was doo-doo feces thrown all over the walls, the floor, the ceiling, and it stunk so bad.
Thankfully, I made it, and I went to the bathroom. But at that point, then it's like, I'm not going to walk back 45 minutes to the panel because this will be over already. So I just hung out there in the...
Side note, I was walking by that DJ with the Chevrolet booth, and he was playing... Actually, I wasn't walking by. I was like kind of off to the side, but he was playing Red Velvet, one of my favorite K-pop groups of all time. And I heard it like a beacon. I was like, K-pop is being played somewhere. And I just kind of like hovered over to where it was, thinking I was going to find like some cosplayers or something cool. It's just a Chevrolet display. And I'm like, oh, this is stupid.
Yep.
But then I saw the DJ in the back, so I went and gave him a pound, and he was like, Yeah, I got the nod.
Yeah, earlier he was playing some kind of like dubstep remix of the Super Mario Brothers theme, and there's some guy dressed like a steampunk Mario brother, like pelvic thrusting and gyrating in front of this thing. So I'm like, I'm running away.
That's what you got to do, man. You got to do that.
So yeah, and then we checked out the Expanse interactive experience. You guys did not go to this because you guys weren't there yet.
That's a lie. We did go to it.
You did?
If you are from Amazon and you're wondering if Marky Mark and Aubrey from So Was a Podcast showed up to the Expanse, we did.
Yes,
right.
we
That is
did.
true.
I have brown hair.
Right. So I set up the appointment at noon, and then Adam was going to come with me, and then we had Randy and Jackie with us, and I'm like, what are we going to do? Make them fucking just stand there like idiots? So I'm like, just come up to the lady with us, and just, I'll be like, yeah, this is our, I was like, hey, this is our crew. And I'm like, here's Adam. I was like, this is Mark and Aubrey. And she's like, oh, great to meet you guys. And it was cool because they took us right in. So we had a VIP press appointment. So they took us right around the line. And there was like a 2-hour wait in line to get into this thing. And it was set up like the inside of the spaceship from the TV show The Expanse. We could get an interactive picture taken, and then you could sit in the chair from the thing. It was cool. And then they had all props and stuff around the outside. So it was actually a really cool thing. So yeah, it was a shout out to Amazon for letting us in there and for not knowing what Mark and Aubrey look like.
And if I had my way, you never will.
Yep.
Aubrey, what about you? What else did you have going on yesterday?
I met Big Booby cosplayer.
Check and check.
Yes. See, Mark and Adam have a schedule of interview, video interview, blah, 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 panel. Mine is like, okay, this girl's going to be at this booth at this time. This girl's going to be at this booth at this time. So.
And I follow Joey so I can talk to them.
That's right.
And Joey can hang in the background, like looking awkwardly at him.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Do
That
like all
sums
of
it
it
up. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty girl.
And it was funny because I was like, man, her boobs are really squishy. And then I spent the rest of the time
Well,
mesmerized by the fact that
she hugged you. She gave you a hug. That's why you knew that her boobs were squishy. It wasn't just like an observation.
Yeah,
She just reached out.
So I spent the rest of the time really contemplating the fact that her boobs were very squishy. And I was like, man, they were abnormally squishy. Why are they so squishy? And then I kept thinking about it as we were walking through the rest of the convention. I was like, why are they so squishy?
This is almost like a window into my brain.
I think they're abnormally squishy. They must not be real. And then, so I kept talking about it. It's like, why are they so squishy? And then we were having a discussion about it, that she must have had a boob job because they were squishy.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
But, I think maybe I should go and just find out for myself.
Right. She'll be there from 1 to 4 tonight at her booth.
All right.
Yeah. Get a hug from her.
All right. So
You see what I mean?
Yeah, I thank God you were there, Aubrey. I was so nervous trying to talk to her that my teeth were chattering.
Yeah, I
Jesus.
told her that I had met her at AwesomeCon, which is true, but I met her like not this past year, but the year before. And I had talked to her the year before as if we had known each other our entire lives, which is easy for me to talk to a girl like that. But of course, when I talk to somebody else, it's like I say awkward things, and I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to say to people. I guess it depends on the person. If there's somebody that I feel like they're important or I'm intimidated by, then I say stupid stuff. But if it's somebody that like I don't really have any connection to, like Big Booby cosplayer, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, right.
I'm mesmerized by the fact that she has squishy boobies. So it
It
was easy for me to talk to her.
I like to antagonize my daughter about this stuff because she gets very upset about big booby cosplayers. So I sent her a picture of the picture I got signed, and she said, "Where do you think you're hanging that?" I just said, "I'll have it in my room. I don't know if I'll hang it up, but
In my drawer, Big Booby cosplayer. So alphabetize it in Big Booby double D.
I'll need you again today, Aubrey, because we're we're going to meet another big booby cosplayer, but this one's going to be even worse. So.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know, like, how I can, like, broach the conversation of, remember that time on My Free Cams when I gave you 25 coins to fellatiate a dildo?
Did you? Interesting.
Yeah, one of the things that I actually wanted to do when we were in New York last time, 2 years ago, as big as this building is, you would think that they would have an auditorium here so they can do like the bigger panels for the big stars. But they don't. They have it at at Madison Square Garden, basically.
Or the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yes. Yep. Somewhere off site. So it is a little bit of a walk. So I've, never really wanted to leave the Javits Center once I get here. But I figured at least once I was going to try to do it. So I did apply for interviews with the cast of Runaways, the cast and creators of Runaways. Did not get that one, but I got a nice letter from the lady that runs the press and said, yeah, you could definitely come to the panel. And you get like early access and you get like your own little entranceway. So I was like, hell yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Cause I wanted to go to the panel anyway. And if I can get there, early and get close, that's totally cool. So, went to the panel. Runaways season 3 starts December 13th, but they played the first episode of season 3. So I got a sneak preview of that. Jeff Loeb was there talking about it. The cast was there doing a quick little synopsis of how they felt about each other as being a part of the show, just so you get a little window into what their life is like. And it was really sweet. And then we got to see the first episode of season 3. And I can't say anything about it, but if you are a fan of the show, they definitely upped their game. There's a new villain that's coming on next year that they already announced today. Elizabeth Hurley is going to be the bad guy. So,
well, when does it start?
Yeah, December 13th. And she actually recorded a nice little introduction specifically for New York Comic Con about not being able to be here. And she talked a little bit about the show. Of course, I can't say anything
trying
about
to start a "You Still Got It" chant.
But yeah, the episode was cool. If you like the show, they definitely upped it a little bit. If you read the comic books, like the original comic books, they are definitely incorporating some of those storylines and some of those elements from the earlier comic books into the show. It's definitely found its footing in season 2, and what they're doing for season 3 is very cool. Very cool. So I cannot wait. And the first episode was absolutely amazing. And then as I was leaving the theater, there was a few cosplayers that were outside. And then some of the actors who play the parents, who play Alex's parents, they were there, and the father of Nico, he was there too. And they're just hanging out, taking pictures with the anyone that recognized them, just wanted a quick selfie. And they were so cool. I got to talk to the father. His name is Ryan Sands. And I just, had to tell him after reading the book and saw that he was cast as Jeffrey Wilder, it was perfect casting. If you look at the comic book and you look at him, perfect. They totally got the right guy. And he portrays that character exactly the way you thought it would be from the book. So I got to talk to him for a little bit, and that was really cool. So Runaways, I was a fan of the book. Oh, and they did like a Q&A at the end of the show, and one of the guys went up to the microphone to ask a question. It was Brian K. Vaughan, the creator of the book, the guy who actually did the book. And I kind of fanboyed a little bit, I'm not going to lie. And I was trying to think of a way if I can jump over this crowd to go and see him and say hi to him. But I didn't get a chance. So, and then I lost him in the crowd at the end of this panel. But it was very cool to see the creator of Runaways out there in the audience. And he was really psyched to watch that episode with the fans. He said he really enjoyed that. So yeah, it was a really cool panel. I really enjoyed it. And I highly suggest, if you're not a fan of Runaways, or if you haven't watched it yet, streaming on Hulu, get caught up before December 13th, because it's pretty bonkers. And they're going to be doing a crossover with Cloak and Dagger, which is really cool. That was pretty much my con adventure.
At least so far. We still got a day to go.
Yeah. And this one's going to be bigger and better and badder.
Yeah, buddy.
More big boobies.
Can we start that chant? Can we just walk around New York and start that chant? Big boobies.
Big boobies. All right. Well, that is just about what we had going on at New York Comic Con, just personal level. You can check out our YouTube channel for a ton of content. We've got tons of pictures on our Facebook page and Instagram. There'll be some interviews and other things coming down the pike on our RSS feed for the podcast. So just stay connected to us across all forms of media, and you'll get to see all about our trip. All right. So I guess stay tuned, folks. New York Comic Con rolls on.
What's up, Whiz Kids? Marquee Mark back on the scene. A little bit more from New York Comic Con. One of the things that I actually did get a chance to do was sit down and do a little roundtable interview with the stars of Travel Channel's new paranormal TV show, Ghost Nation. Jason, Steve, and Dave, they respond to urgent calls from local paranormal investigators nationwide who have reached a dead end with their vexing personal cases. So I got to sit in a room with a bunch of reporters and chat with the guys about their new upcoming show. This is one of the first celebrity roundtables that I got to do. So it came in really handy that I kind of know these guys. So it made things a little bit easier for me. So one of the first questions that was asked was, will skeptics of the paranormal enjoy this new show? And here's their answer.
Honestly, I think skeptics, believers, and everybody in between are going to be able to enjoy this show because where our past, we did more of a preliminary investigation. This show, you're able to see it from start through the finish, through the resolution. And a lot of times, we still believe over 80% of all claims can be disproved. And you're going to see on the show that, yeah, we're able to have these great experiences and back them up with evidence, but we're also able to figure out scientifically a lot of things that are going on that has nothing to do with the paranormal. So I think skeptics are going to be able to enjoy this just as much as believers.
We are skeptical investigators for sure. I mean, I'm not a skeptic because I have no agenda. I don't care if you believe or not. I'm just after the truth. But we definitely believe 80% of all hauntings can be disproved. 80% of all activity can be disproved. So it's a pretty skeptical outlook on things. And I think people should be skeptical of what we're doing. If we just put it in front of you and say, look at this, and you believe it, I mean, I feel like you should see it for yourself. Come along with us for the adventure and the mystery and the fun, but I'm not too afraid of skeptics.
A lot of research, a lot of twists and turns in the show, and you're going to be learning a lot with us. It's quite the ride. It really is.
All right. So then one of the next questions I was asked was, how do they decide what homes they're going to investigate? Here's what they had to say.
Well, and that's a great question because just through our website, we get up to 1,000 cases a day because we receive millions and millions of visitors every year. So the cases we get are actually being brought to us by a network of other investigators that we've dealt with through years. And you're going to notice that every single case we go to is a case that this group has been investigating and they've hit a roadblock and they're part of our network. And every case is also a residential case, a family. There's no reason for us to go spend time at a big haunted building in the middle of nowhere if not helping out anybody. So we're back to basics. We're getting in there, we're helping out families, especially with children. If there's children involved, it jumps to the front of the list. I mean, even on the first episode, you're going to see we end up at a house in White Pine, Tennessee, where a veteran who's dealing with PTSD and his family are sleeping in a Winnebago out in the yard because they're scared of the things that are going on in the house. And by the time we're done, and we stay there as long as need be, but by the time we're done, there's been resolution. They're back in the house. They're happy. And we're still in contact with them to this day.
And they still email us.
Yeah.
We got their PS4 names, too. We're playing video games with them, too. It's awesome. I love it.
Right. And so with so many other shows about the paranormal, what sets Ghost Nation apart from the rest?
I think for our show, Ghost Nation, a lot of these teams, we have resources that maybe they're not quite able to get. For instance, if we have a question, we can call a physicist, we can call the clergy, we can call all these places, we can do the deep dives into the research of the history and all of that, where these other teams, they hit some roadblocks. And we've accumulated some knowledge in terms of techniques, and we have a lot of equipment, new equipment that they may not have or even know exists, because we've had equipment made for us, that sort of thing. So going around, helping all of these teams and helping the families that they're dealing with. Other shows, they'll all have their own techniques, they'll all have everything they can bring, but we're different.
And I think you also got to look at the history. We've been involved in the field. You can look back 25, 30 years. We've been involved in the field. And we were involved in the field long before television. We'll be involved in the field long after television. So we're not just out there making a show. This is what we've always done. And it's all about keeping it real and looking for the real explanation of what goes on. And I think that also goes to show why we've had Pentagon clearance for government cases. We're called in by law enforcement. We're brought in by religious organizations. So I think it goes to show that for whatever reason, through the way we've done things, they've learned to respect our methods out there, and I think that sets us very, very far apart from a lot. Yeah.
And then someone asked, what was the experience that got them into paranormal investigating? And I was very interested to hear what Dave Tango had to say.
For me, I never had a personal experience to get me into the field. It was more my father. He was a police officer in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And when we were kids, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but he would come home and tell me and my brother stories of things true stories of things that would happen to him on the force and people he knew, other police officers. And growing up with these stories, you realize these are people with authority. These are people who can get in trouble if they keep talking about this kind of stuff. You can't put this in a report, you know. And that kind of piqued my curiosity, and that's what got me, what led me here now. So.
But, and I think just to go back to the question, what makes this Ghost Nation so different also is it's not a show about just us three. It's about everybody who's involved in the paranormal, whether it's investigators, whether it's people who are just intrigued by it, whether it's people who want to sit at home and from the safety of their home be an armchair investigator. I think everybody who's involved in this field or interested in this field is a part of what makes up this nation of the paranormal. So Ghost Nation is pretty much about everybody.
And even if you're not that into the paranormal, honestly, I mean, the way that our episodes unfold is very true to life how it happened. Like, we go do the research and find this name, someone who actually died in the house, so we pursue that. We decide we want to have cadaver dogs and ground penetrating radar come in because we found out there could be a bone in the yard. We're going to do that, and we did. And every single day we're there, new things. It was like a mystery. Yeah. Really, really
Twists
awesome.
and turns.
Until Ghost Nation, we weren't able to really dig into the history and dig into the land as deeply as we did, which really made us. This wasn't a show where we were out to get the best piece of evidence. It wasn't the chase for the evidence because we want people to believe. It was helping families, so we didn't focus on that. But through that, we got some of the best evidence that we've ever captured and some of the best experiences we've ever had.
Well, and also just the fact that they're literally following us from when we start to when we finish through everything, where it'd be edited, it'd be cut down to whatever they wanted to air they thought was the best parts. I mean, you're able to see really how it goes, really how we've always investigated, how we really investigate off camera. Now you're able to see it on camera.
The whole process.
And then it was your boy Marky Mark's moment to shine.
Mark, yes sir. So where's your podcast, everybody?
So then I asked if there was any difficulties in them coming back in front of the cameras after being on such a long hiatus. Here's what they had to say.
Well, you've known us for a long time. You know that I don't care if the camera's there or not. We just do what we do. I say what I say. We don't think about that. So I think it was pretty much, again, started doing what we did, right? Yeah. And if the camera guy doesn't catch it, it's his own problem. He can explain it to them why he didn't. We're just out there investigating, and we've investigated off camera. I mean, and even when we took that break, we're still investigating. So
we had other projects in front of the camera as well, so we didn't get so rusty. Jay did a 5-episode live series with Jack Osborne, who has a show on Travel Channel, and I got into the documentary world. We stayed in front of the camera a little bit, but we knew for a series we wanted to make sure we were all together. So we fought off other TV show offers, and we did a lot, especially Jay, obviously, just to make sure that we could all sort of be together at the other end of it. And luckily, Travel Channel was the right platform, the network that said, hey, we want to showcase what you guys are doing. And honestly, all the other shows really embraced us, which is important. We're getting hugs from people. Welcome to the family. And
Travel Channel, they're big huggers, for sure. As soon as we met them, start hugging. That's it.
Then a final question was, how do they frame their stories to keep them engaging and entertaining for the viewers? Here's what they had to say.
Well, the investigation unfolds how it happens in real time. And we do the proper research, and we're there for quite some time. And, although we try to disprove things, we actually came across, I'll say it, the best evidence we've ever come across. And quite honestly, we've captured some evidence that I think is the best that the field has ever captured. And so, we're not out there, even though we can disprove things, that's not all that happens. We get to some pretty intense things happening.
Well, I think beyond that as well, we're also executive producers on the show. If we want it to follow how it really happened, we want it to follow that storyline. We want you to to get to know the homeowners and the investigator that's out there prior. We want you to be able to see the things we've caught, what we debunked, us actually getting into the historical research of it all, and it's bottom line. And I think also a lot of people they remember us as a team, so that's nice too, because again, we're a big family. I mean, literally, Steve was with me long before I was ever on television. He's been with me the longest out of any of the investigators I've ever worked with. And geez, this guy's like a little brother to us.
He lived with me. I lived with him.
So,
still has nightmares.
Yeah, he still does.
Jay's here. What's going on? Kids.
So I think people will tune in because, the credibility that we've always had, the honesty, the straightforwardness, and also because they remember who we are and how we've always done it. So I think that's important, and that we're still doing it as a team.
And being lucky to be executive producers on the show, we're able to nuance it in a way that stays true to the story and the investigation. It's not taken anywhere where it shouldn't be. It's not exaggerated. It's not blown out of proportion. It's exactly what it is. And Travel Channel has been absolutely amazing in the respect that if we're not happy with something or we don't think it's a phone call and it's resolved, they're very, very cool. And just want the platform to be as honest as it can be. And if we weren't executive producers also, it'd kind of be like, well, guys, here's the show. I hope you're happy with it. End of story. That's how it would be. But we're able to really nuance it through our filter, which has been important for us. And to be honest, it may not have been that way if we hadn't waited a few years and really honed our skills in terms of the off-camera side of things.
Yeah, so I want to thank Travel Channel for giving me the opportunity to sit down and chat with the guys. They are great dudes. The show looks fantastic, and I can't wait to see it. Those guys are awesome. I love them. It premieres Friday night, October 11th, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ghost Nation. Definitely check it out. Now back to the show.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We are back, and it is time for us to talk about our Saturday here at New York Comic Con. It is the end of the day, 7:40 p.m. as we record this. We have been here since
the dawn of time.
Feels like the dawn of time. We've been here since about 11 o'clock this morning. I've been up personally since about 4 a.m. So good times. Almost 12 hours now. We're ready to rock and roll.
Don't bang the microphone.
It was me. I'm sorry.
Don't bang the microphone.
Sorry.
I banged the table.
No, don't bang the table.
What's that sound? It's Aubrey banging the microphone.
Bang,
so,
bang.
we've been here since the start of the day today. It's been a long day. It's been a crazy day. Let's go around. Let's see what's going on for the day. Aubrey, tell us about your day at New York Comic Con Saturday.
I have a problem.
Yeah.
What is your problem?
So I got in line for the Gundam booth.
Mm-hmm. You're a big Gundam fan, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I spent
went from Gundam to damn.
Yeah.
No gun, just damn.
I spent $300 at the Gundam booth.
Oh.
I left with 3 bags at the Gundam booth. Like it was so bad that the people in line were like,
damn, girl.
Yeah, they were looking at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? The people at the Gundam booth gave me a gold pin for buying so much.
Ma'am, please stop.
You made those people's day.
Yeah,
You're like, you can't leave, you can't go on break until you sell all this stuff. And then Aubrey comes rolling in and boom.
We had the best Saturday ever thanks to
money.
Aubrey.
Take a pen, take anything you want.
They made me a customized bag because I bought a huge Zazabi. It was just way too big, and they couldn't even fit it in a bag, so they made me a custom bag so I could carry it. And so yeah, I bought $300 worth of Gundam figures, and now I didn't think about the repercussions.
Obviously.
Much as I don't with everything.
Whoops.
And this is why I always get in trouble. And this is why Josh always gets mad at me for giving people my phone number in Walmart for offering me a job.
Oh, okay.
But he won't leave.
I know.
Because
He
you got
stays.
that bomb ass.
He stays. I don't know.
Mark's like, no, don't
I'm
say
like,
it.
don't say it. Shut up. I'm just gonna bleep it out anyway to make it funnier.
So okay. I'm walking around with all these bags. I try to check them. They tell me to go downstairs. I go downstairs. There's nowhere to check bags downstairs. So I have to go back to the press lounge, defeated with all my bags of stuff. And I sat in a corner and tried to go to sleep until Mark found me. And then at the end of the convention, I panicked and I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. And we ran around trying to find big bags and I lost everybody. And that's when these bad decisions happen because you see, I went to the Gundam booth by myself and this is where bad decisions happen. This is why I spent $300 because I went to the Gundam booth by myself. So what happens when I lose everybody, I go to the Good Smile booth where I know they have big bags because I went to the Geico booth and they were out of big bags. What happens? I'm like, what do I have to do to get a big bag? They say you have to buy one of these small chibi things.
God,
what are they? $45. So I spent $45 for a big bag that I'm not even using because you guys got me free big bags that are much bigger than the big bag that I got.
Well, they weren't free, but they definitely weren't $45. I'm gonna tell you that much. But yeah, I think it's difficult for listeners. You can check out the Facebook page to see the pictures of Aubrey
Or Instagram.
See the pictures of Aubrey and her purchases here at New York Comic Con. Now that we know this, because this is the first time we've all like kind of been together,
Right.
at like a big con. I mean, we did like little ones before, but now that we are aware of the temptation that is in front of Aubrey
I'll
when she
handcuff her to my wrist.
yeah,
next year.
this will never happen again, Josh. This will never happen again.
Yeah, it didn't stop either at the Gundam booth
Oh,
because so I saw this girl with a Pikachu tote and I was like, hey, where'd you get that Pikachu tote? And she's like, oh, at the Viz booth. And I was like, awesome. They must have Pokemon stuff there. So we were about to go to the Ghost Nation panel. I was like, okay, guys, I got to go to the Viz booth. So I go to the Viz booth to get a Pikachu tote. And they're like, well, in order to get a Pikachu tote, you got to buy something. So I got a limited edition Sailor Moon shirt to get the Pikachu tote. And then lo and behold, I find a Cthulhu mystery box. And I'm like, oh, that's perfect for Noah's birthday that's coming up. I'll buy you really overly expensive Cthulhu mystery box that comes with Cthulhu plushie.
Mm-hmm. Now that we know that there's an issue there, we wouldn't have let you go, or someone who would have been with you.
I'm gonna get picked up at the train station, and I'm glad it's my brother because he equally has the sickness.
Yeah.
If it was Josh, I'd be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be in big trouble.
Yeah, so now you did mention your brother. Let's keep in fact that this is partially his fault.
It is his fault. A lot of so only one of the Gundams is mine per se, but the other Gundams, so $80 worth of those Gundams is actually my fault. The other 200 is him. That's all him. I video called him in the Gundam booth.
That was a mistake.
All him. Yeah. All him.
All right. So, long story short, he's going to have to come to New York and get his own Gundams next time.
Yes, and then he'll be divorced afterwards.
Yep, buy your own shit. You ain't carrying it around no more.
Seriously.
What about you, Mark? How about you? What was your Saturday all about?
I had a list of things that I wanted to do. And it was kind of talk to some, find some indie creators, which is what I love to do at conventions, and get some new books. There was a couple of people that I definitely wanted to talk to, one of them being Dirk Manning, the writer of a book that I fell in love with on Free Comic Book Day called Hope. It's a book that I heard about actually first on Superhero Speak. They were talking about it. And it sounded interesting. Free Comic Book Day came in May. I picked up the book. I absolutely loved it. Thought the idea was cool. The artwork was cool. So I knew Dirk Manning was going to be here. So I'm like, I got to go and get the next book number 2. Little did I know that book 2, 3, and 4 were all out. So I wound up getting 3 more books and got to chat with Dirk for a little bit. And that was pretty cool. So I saw him, picked up a few more books. There's an artist named John Pinto who I follow on Facebook. And I just think he's an absolutely amazing artist. I love his artwork. The last time I saw him was at Dragon Con, and I wasn't able to buy any of his prints because I didn't have the ability to carry them around. There was no big bags that was readily available.
No $45 bags available for you.
And I didn't want to walk around with Dragon Con. And even just getting down to Atlanta, my bags were packed to the hilt. There's no way I was going to get anything else in those bags. So anything that I got from Dragon Con, it was going to be tough to get back. But I did meet him when I was down there. I'm like, dude, I love your work. It's awesome. And, if you're ever in another convention, I'll definitely make sure to get something that's closer to home that I could take some of your artwork with. So I bought a couple of prints from him, and it was tough to choose only 2 because he has so many of them. But they're awesome. He's a really cool dude. I wanted to interview him too, but he was really busy. And I got to meet Kaylin Smith, who is the artist of Hope. Dirk Manning is the writer. Kaylin Smith is the artist. And she's amazing. Her artwork is fantastic. I love it. And I had her sign my books and picked up her other anthology book that she had as a Western that looked pretty cool. So, yeah, I had a list of things that I wanted to do. And I got them all accomplished except for I didn't see Batman. That's the one thing I didn't do. I looked for him. I couldn't find him. But it was a lot of fun. I did my interview with the Ghost Nation, which was fun. And then went to the panel. And, even though we sat in the back, this ridiculous hat made it easy for them to spot me. So, and then we got in line and got a picture with them. They're really cool dudes, and I love those guys. So, I had a really good Saturday. I checked off all of the boxes on my list.
Awesome.
What about you, Joe? You look like you're barely hanging on.
Oh, I am wiped the fuck out. I got to be honest with you. Last night was my 3rd night in a row sleeping on the floor of a hotel, and not like I brought an air mattress, like the floor. So I'm beat, but that's all right. We're gonna pull through. I woke up this morning at about 4-something a.m. because I work 3rd shift, and when I eat lunch, it's around 4:30 every morning. So if I try to sleep through on a normal day, my body wakes up and is like, "Hey, it's lunchtime."
Time to eat.
and I, even if I'm not hungry, I still wake up. So that kind of happened. So I woke up, I grabbed my phone, started farting around on Twitter, and I see right away that one of my favorite big booby cosplayers, who we knew was going to be here. I knew she was coming to this con, but I didn't know if she was going to do anything like meet and greets or have a booth.
Yeah.
So she's going to be at a booth. This was at 1:18 a.m. She tweeted that she's going to be at a booth at this time. So that was the one thing I wanted to do, is get a picture with Lisa Loren, who you may know from cosplay or her work on My Free Cams.
That's going to be a no from me.
Yeah. I'll send you some links. I met her last year at New York Comic Con. It's one of my favorites. She's smoking hot. It's great. It's really cool. So we went to the booth, and I got to take a picture with her, and that was that. That was the one thing I wanted to get accomplished today, and I got it accomplished. So I didn't have a lot on my plate today, just taking a lot of cosplay pictures, a lot of video with Adam for cosplay, and mostly just trying to keep Adam's wife from strangling him and murdering him. So.
And why would she strangle and murder him? Because
it's just, you know what? Saturday is the craziest day of the con.
That's true.
It's not for everybody.
It is fucking sane here. There is wall-to-wall people. You cannot move a foot in front of you at any time. It's nuts. So we tried to explain to her when she was like, "Oh, I'll come with you guys and hang out." It's like, well, we're not going to be having a ton of fun because we're doing press stuff the whole day. And we have to go on Saturday. Normally when I go with my friends, if we just go, if say there's 3 of us, we're just going to come to New York Comic Con, we would go Thursday, Friday. If we were going to stay for 4 days, we'd skip Saturday to do touristy stuff and then come back Sunday. That we always try to stay the hell away from Saturday. But because we had press obligations today, we had to be here. And I'll be honest with you, it was nuts. We were down on the floor a few times, like when I was waiting. When we were waiting to meet Lisa Loren, it was rough, man. There was just people everywhere. We scooted off to the side in a little area just that we could not be crushed by people, and it was brutal. I couldn't imagine coming here of my own accord. Is this the only day that I was going to show up and be like, all right, I got my full New York Comic Con experience of being knocked around by people and not able to do anything. It was crazy. Plus, we're exhausted, so it doesn't help. But, yeah, really, really crazy day today. But the Ghost Nation panel was awesome. That looks like it's going to be a really cool show to check out. we got to get our picture taken with them, like you said, and they let us scoot to the front of the line.
Because someone was wearing a ridiculous hat. It was easily a spot.
Marcellus is down with the Ghost Nation guys, and they saw us in line, and the lady comes over and is like, a talent requests you to go to the front of the line. And then a security guard tried to throw us out of standing in the front of the line, and she's like, no, the talent requested them to be here. So we felt very important. We were requested by the talent.
Now, normally we wouldn't, do something like that. If we were standing in line, we're going to stand in line just like everyone else.
That's
we're not
the way assholes.
Yeah, that's where we're supposed to be. But, I got the nod, and I was like, no. And then I got the nod again. I'm like, oh, I don't know. And then when she came over and got us, it's like, what are we going to tell her? No. And we were at the very end of the long line.
People in line. So
so it was either, and we had Aubrey's 18,000 bags with us. And it was nice. It was very nice. So because they know they know where we're from, they know we do a lot of traveling, and they just wanted to help us out. So. They let us come to the front.
So
and they know that I'm their original Twitter follower.
Aubrey is the original OG.
I am
follower of the Ghost Nation.
But yeah, I mean that was a really fun day today. Adam got a lot of cool content that'll be up on our YouTube channel and on the podcast feed as well throughout the next week or so. Mark, you got a bunch of cool stuff. I'm really excited to hear Adam's Castle Rock Roundtable.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the press roundtable for Castle Rock Season 3. Got to interview most of the cast, including Lizzie Kaplan and Tim Robbins.
Oh, how jealous are you?
So Lizzie Kaplan, oh my God.
Did you hear that he saw Rosario Dawson?
No.
That was Superhero Speak did a press roundtable for the new animated Wonder Woman movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And she does a voice in it, so she gets to sit at the same
She's Wonder
table
Woman.
as her.
I asked them yesterday when I saw them if they knew Rosario Dawson was going to be there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure.
I got oh snap!
Oh, we're broadcasting live from New York Comic Con.
That's right. We are sitting at a table in the food court. So in case you were wondering, but we got a press invite for that, but I just poo-pooed it because timing was rough, and I'm like, I don't really want to talk to animated movie cast. And had I known Rosario Dawson was there, Mark probably would have been banging the door down.
Oh my God! And I would be lucky to get any words out at all other than "I love you."
Let me in. Let me in.
Exactly.
Hold up a boombox.
It starts playing Bad Baby.
Yep, I love her. So yeah, that would have been I don't think I would have been able to contain
It's a learning
myself.
experience. This is our first time at this con as press, and it was at times extremely overwhelming, to be honest with you. It's a lot different than going to Rhode Island or Terrific Con, and that's not to denigrate those cons, but
we've been there before.
Not just that, but they give you a pass to get in, and they want you to promote them on social media and cover the con and take pictures, but there's no like press aspect to it. We're walking around the show, we're taking pictures. We set up our own interviews at those things by just walking up to people's booths and asking them if we can talk to them. This was about halfway through the month of August. It started getting emails like crazy, and we had to respond to them, and we had to schedule every day. Like Adam's whole day yesterday was go, doing stuff. I know he went to the Walking Dead VR game booth and interviewed the devs and got to play the game. It comes out in January. While that was going on, I took his wife Jackie to go to the bathroom. She had to go to the bathroom super bad, and the absolute insanity of the area we were in is we were right by the Funko Pop booth.
Oh God.
I can't even explain to you what that's like. Have some people, a couple people like get on each side of you and just bump into you over and over again, and like close your eyes and dream of New York, and that's what that area of New York Comic Con is like. So I went with her so she wouldn't have any issues, and I'm sure she can handle herself, but. There was a 45-minute wait in line for her to use the bathroom, so by the time we got done, then Adam was done. So, but yeah, I mean, I had a blast. This was fucking great. I had so much fun. I loved hanging out with you guys. We got to hang out with some other podcasts. Yeah, and same thing today. We got to meet up with librarian Kate, who writes for the Multiversity website, and she's a big podcast fan. So we got to meet up with her. We got to hang out a little bit more with Superhero Speak. Me and Mark both got a chance to shoot the shit with critics and Comic Al from Comic Crusaders, which was great. I was worried we weren't going to get a chance to see them, and I saw critics, and I went over and was talking to him. Then Al strolled right in. I was like, there he
was. He stole my seat.
Yeah. That's how I actually found Critics, because I came back from the bathroom and my chair was gone, and I saw a guy from Critics sitting like with his back to us with the Critics shirt on. And I was like, Critics stole my chair.
Oh my God. Was it in that same area that we were hanging out in? That was their area. They have been, when I saw them earlier, they had already been in that spot. They try to make sure that there's always at least one member there to hold on to that area.
It's because that's where the outlets were.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
But we were shooting the shit with them. Both those teams are going to be at Rhode Island Comic Con next month, so we'll definitely be hooking up with them again. And they were giving me, and through osmosis, Superhero Speak, a lot of cool advice and things. So next year, if knock on wood, if we're allowed to come back as press next year, we have some cool ideas and things to spin off. So it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Really happy to see those guys. Saw Ephraim. Who else did we see? Keith Gleason today. I didn't go near Artist Alley today, so I didn't get a chance to see Adam Walinta again. I know he's been doing a bang-up job selling punk tacos.
Yep.
So, that's it. That was New York Comic Con. He's taking a lot of pictures, a lot of walking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, pictures, walking, talking, video.
Yeah,
it's just.
It's not being here as press is not like here to have fun. Like it's.
I mean, we did have a lot.
I was going to say,
take it the wrong way.
I had a lot of fun.
It was a blast. I wouldn't trade it for anything. We had a great time, but it's a lot different than going to a different con. Like this is going to Terrific Con and walking around for the day. This isn't even Rhode Island. Like this is like work all day. Work.
Yeah. Well, each con offers something a little bit different than other cons. This one is definitely kind of the Mountain Dew adrenaline version of a con. It's very hyper and very intense, but the cool stuff that they offer is cooler than some of the other cons, slightly cooler than the other cons. I mean, I got to see the first episode of The Runaways, and it doesn't come out for 2 months. And
I enjoyed myself. They also sent us trailers of the new Picard stuff and the new Discovery stuff, which is really cool. So.
All right, so how did it feel to record a podcast face-to-face for the first time?
It's very weird.
It is weird.
Is it? Oh, I was going to say I enjoy it.
That I have ADD during it, and I do a million things while I'm recording.
Trust me, I did not need you in front of me to know that.
I know. I know you probably hear it all the time. I try to mute myself at home.
I didn't need to have you in front of me to see how much you spend on Gundam models.
At least I get that money back. Pay me back.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of making weird faces when I use my radio voice or when I'm talking. I'm used to not recording face-to-face with anyone, so I'm not looking at Mark and Aubrey half the time. I'm staring at the table. I'm staring off in the distance because I'm concentrating. But so it's really weird to have you guys right in front of me.
I think I knew that about the radio voice though, because we did that at GameStop when we would call people about their pre-orders.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did. I actually that goes all the way back to when I worked at EB Games, and we used to have to physically sit there and call 200 people about Madden 05 coming out. So I would stand on one side of the phone, and one of my employees would stand on the other side of the phone, and I'd say, "Good afternoon. This is a call from GameStop That's how I'd go. This is a call from GameStop at the," and then they would take the phone and go, "Enfield Mall." I'd be like, "Your copy of Madden 05 is now available for pickup at the store."
And no one would know that it was real people.
And we would do that over and over and over again for 250 people.
Oh, God.
That's how we entertained ourselves.
Right.
So.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was either that or kill ourselves because we worked in retail. So, but yeah, so on the Facebook Live videos, I'm talking and I'm watching it back, and I'm man, I make some weird faces sometimes, but I try my best.
Well, I wanted to do this as a social experiment, just to have all three of us together.
Yeah. How's your experiment going?
It's fucking fine. I got these microphones and they work.
Yep.
I got these microphone stands that weigh at least 10 pounds. Carrying them around all day.
Bring these to other cons that we're doing, even if all three of us aren't there, and still record and. Still, sorry, I hit the microphone. Mark's giving me a look.
This is why we don't do it face to face, damn it.
God damn it.
We can have nice things.
And still record together.
That's why you use a Rock Band mic.
And even bring little guests on if we have people around that want to shoot the shit. I recorded a little bit in Superhero Speaks hotel room with them that night when I crashed with them. So I don't remember what we were talking about. It was just rambling nonsense because we were all exhausted. But
yeah, I think this was a very successful attempt to pull this off, and hopefully this episode comes out good. I say this now without hearing it back, so hopefully the fans
I don't
will
know.
enjoy
I
it.
felt like our recording from this morning was a lot more rambling because we were half awake and tired. So
yeah, it could be. And now we're
exhausted.
Yeah, exhausted.
Yeah, we're not tired from just waking up. We're tired because we've been here all day. But
And carrying all my crap.
and carrying all these fucking Gundam
Good
fucking bags. all
Which
over
I
the
would
place.
like to report. I just consolidated to 2 personal items. 2 personal items.
Look at that.
My
We're almost there.
My
has
legs,
been-
my back,
Yes, it
my
all
Gundam,
has
and my
been-
crack.
We might have to build one of these Gundams just so she could fly home with it.
Right.
Everything has been consolidated
I now
to
not
2
only hate
bags.
Gundams, I hate all robots. And I'm really cheering for the humans in the Terminator movie now.
I have consolidated to 2 personal items.
Way to go.
I will be okay.
Way to go. Just regular wrap it up.
That's going to do it for Saturday and for the whole trip at New York Comic Con. Any final thoughts, Marcellus?
Yeah, I have so many thoughts. I really want to give a special shout out to Adam Mollyhawk and Jackie. I had so much fun interviewing Jeff Anderson for Legion M with Adam. He was a really good person to bounce ideas off of. And even though I will probably never, if I had my choice, never do that again in front of a video camera for YouTube, I enjoyed the experience with Adam. So special shout out to Adam, special shout out to Jackie for being so nice.
Yeah, I always worry that we're going to put too much on Adam's plate, and that's going to be the time when he says, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm out.
Right.
But, he's balls deep in it, man. He loves it. So good for him. Aubrey, any final thoughts?
I'm always thankful to be here.
Well, we're thankful to have you.
I'm always surprised you guys are thankful to have me. I never feel like I bring anything to the table.
That's 100% not
Well,
true.
I mean, you don't, but, we still let you hang out.
What are you talking about? You brought Gundams to the table.
Gundams and fucking tote bags to the table. This has been a blast. It's been crazy. It's been so different and new. I'm so glad. I'm so proud of the 3. Well, really the 4 of us with Adam.
Seriously.
I'm proud of the 4 of us that we fucking worked our balls off and we earned this and we had a good time. And even if we don't ever get to be press again at New York Comic Con, we always have this fucking badge of honor that we did it. We fucking earned it. This was one of the goals I set for us as a show when we started. This is one of the fucking goals I set, and we fucking did it, and I'm very happy about that. I'm very, very happy about that. And I want to send a shout out to Reed Pop and everybody at Reed Pop for allowing us to come to their show and cover it as press. I want to send a shout out to you, Mark Ellis, and you, Aubrey, for being the best, and I love you guys.
Boom.
Adam Wallyhawk and his wife Jackie. Adam for being awesome, and Jackie for putting up with us.
Seriously, thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, Superhero Speak for letting me crash in their hotel room. Derek from Not Another Nerdy Podcast with Cowboy Rich, the notorious WAG, and Jay Gibby for putting up with me on Thursday. Random Randy Savage from Colt 45 that hung out with us as well. Ocho Duro Parlay Hour Podcast, Ghost of the Stratosphere for meeting up with us upstairs. Librarian Kate. All those people, just everybody that had a part in having a great fucking couple days here in New York, and it's been a blast. And I'm fingers crossed we can come back next year. I got to start saving now. That's it. All right, so I guess we'll come back and wrap things up some more.
Hey guys, Marquee Mark, I'm back. I just wanted to let you know that you can go to soulwizardpodcast.com, and there you're going to find new episodes every week. You're going to find some movie reviews from yours truly, Netflix and Amazon streaming picks from our buddy, the awesome Adam Mollyhawk. You'll also find our merchandise there. We got some Soul Wizard t-shirts, sweatshirts, just some swag so you can look good and represent the show. A lot of those shirts are pretty cool, if I do say so myself. I did have a little hand in designing them. If you like to shop on Amazon, what you can do is go to our website. There's a Amazon logo on the front page. Click on that logo, do your Amazon shopping. That way you get the products that you order and you get to help out our little podcast here by showing that you did your shopping through our website. It's going to help us out, so we would appreciate it. You can also find our social media links there. We have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Instagram. So follow us, see what we're up to. You can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and give us a 5-star review while you're there.
You can also find our episodes on the Stitcher app for your tablet or smartphone, Podbean, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and my personal favorite, Spotify. You can also find our podcast on our YouTube page, along with new videos almost every week. We also have a Patreon page where you can receive exclusive bonus Soul Wizard content just by contributing a little bit of funds. Shout out to the Geek World All-Stars Podcasting Network. Back to you, Joey.
And we are back. And now we have moved forward in time, and we're all home and apart, recording a podcast again, just like normal. Let's get some final thoughts. How does it feel to be home, Aubrey?
I'm sad.
But before the sadness, tell us about your trip home.
Well, I took a 3 a.m. train in New York City, which can never go well. I sat down in a little gated area, which we all thought was going to go well, and immediately sat down, and directly across from me, this guy goes, "Someone went shopping." And I was like, no.
Yeah, he was right.
Yep. So I was like, yep, sure did. And then he starts talking to me and having a conversation with me and did not stop. Turns out he was on my train and continued to talk to me until I put up a barrier of all of the stuff that I bought eventually because he had tried to convince me to pretend to be his wife so I could board the train early. He told me his entire life story. He at one point started crying because he was telling me his life story. He told me how he listens to Eminem because he identifies with his life story. Eminem grew up on 8 Mile. This man grows up at 9th.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, all right. Asked me if I was married. I said yes. I have 2 kids. I live on the other side of Virginia because I had already committed to saying I have lived in Virginia since we were on the same train. And then I faked a Southern accent.
Wow.
And yeah, it was pretty good because I am a terrible liar and I'm not good at lying at all. So I actually was pretty proud of myself that I was able to maintain this. And then I had to pee and I was like, I am not leaving this gated area of Penn Station because I looked out and I saw a man in a hospital gown. I was like, I'm going to pee on the train in 3 hours. I'm going to hold it. I am not leaving. So man in hospital gown sat outside the window and looked in for a while.
Yeah.
And then I waited for my train and a homeless woman came up with no shoes on and no bra. She's wearing a white shirt and she had the darkest nipples I have ever seen in my entire life. She's like, spare penny for a homeless woman, spare penny for a homeless woman. And I was like, no, I have no money. And then I saw so many people from Jersey that were completely shit-faced and wearing barely any clothing. Very tan.
Wait, how do you know they were from Jersey?
Because they just have that Jersey look. And they were also boarding Jersey trains.
Okay, all right.
And then I would right as I was about to figure out where I was actually boarding, I watched or I heard this huge commotion, and then I watched this crowd gather over by this escalator that had stopped moving, and I see this girl bleeding everywhere.
Jesus.
She drunkenly fell down the broken down escalator, split open her leg. Told the security guard that she was not drunk and that she was pushed and that she was refusing medical treatment, and then walked sideways for the rest of the way through the train station because she was in fact drunk. So
wow.
Yeah. And then I got on the train and that was very interesting because and there was a couple in front of me that was very inebriated. Of course, they were also from Jersey because they were getting off in Trenton. And they were deciding that they were going to explore themselves once the train started. But then they decided to go to sleep. Or they didn't decide. They passed out because they were so drunk.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, so I heard them snoring, and then one of them started making kissy noises in their sleep. Very wet, sloppy, kissy noises. So then we got moving on the train, and the couple in front of me got off of the train. I thought for sure that they were going to miss their stop because they were both snoring and asleep. And the guy woke up and started screaming at his wife to wake up, and then decides he's going to leave her on the train because she's not getting up fast enough. And so then she ends up getting up. They get off, and then the guy across from me, as we're moving, looks at the guy in front of him, looks at the guy behind him, takes the towel that he's using as a pillow, puts it on his lap, and then moves his phone suspiciously and puts his hand in his pocket. And I was like, well, this is not happening. But then we came up to another stop, and he panicked and stopped doing that and went back to sleep. So it was a very interesting train ride. I was afraid to fall asleep, but when I got home, I slept for the rest of the day.
Oh my God. You had the most craziest adventures in like the smallest amount of time, in the smallest windows of time.
I know. I always say that I should write a book. And that there's actually a song by Mindless Self-Indulgence called Witness, and it says, I need a witness to my life. And I really feel like sometimes I do, because nobody really could possibly believe that the things that happen in my life would actually happen, because they're so far-fetched that you would never actually be like, yeah, that could be plausible, because it's so crazy. You're like, really? That seems outlandish. But I promise you, I wish it did not happen, but it is real life. It is always, unfortunately, real life.
Well, I am glad that you made it home safely with all of those bags of Gundam merchandise. Because I was really...
Yes, I managed to move everything, actually, so it was a little bit easier. I rechecked my train ticket a million times, and it said I could bring 2 personal items in 2 bags. So I was like, okay, this works out a little bit easier, because then I can stuff my backpack and then stuff my carry-on bag, and then I can manage to put all the models in the big tote that we got.
Right.
So I did that. And that actually worked out pretty good. But then I was like, well, I'm not moving because I'm an easy target for anybody that's going to run by and just snatch it.
Yeah.
So I managed that, and it worked out pretty well. At first, I had both of those big totes, and they were so heavy with my backpack in there. So that was pretty miserable. But then once I moved it all around, it was easier to maneuver. And
Good. Joey?
Well, I definitely apologize, Aubrey, because I am an idiot and thought we could all leave out of the same train station. And it turns out that we couldn't. So we got there, and then we had to leave you there by yourself for 5 hours. So.
It's all good. I was glad that I at least had... It was nice that Penn Station had this area that you actually have to show your ticket to get into, because there was quite a few people that tried to get in there that did not have tickets. And they were denied. There was security making sure you had a ticket to get in. There was quite a few homeless people at Penn Station that were watching you. So it was nice, because I know at Grand Central they do not have that. So I was very thankful for Penn Station to have that. Without that, I probably would have been mugged. So it was very nice.
Well, what about you, Mark Ellis? You happy to be home?
Yes, very much so. I didn't realize how much physical activity I experienced through New York until I got home and I couldn't move. Like carrying that 80-pound bag of recording equipment seemed like a great idea, and then I got home and I could not move at all. Like once I laid down. So yeah, it was good to have a day off. I'm very tired, but I was glad to make it home safely. I'm glad everyone made it home safely. Right. Especially Aubrey.
Yeah.
Went to a chiropractor today, and I'm pretty sure my neck popped like 5 gazillion times.
How are you feeling, Joey?
I'm almost kind of a wreck. I was there longer than you guys, so it was nice to come home and sleep in a bed. Yeah. I got home. Well, I got home at like 2:30 in the morning, I think, on Sunday. Sound about right?
Yeah. I think I was around like 2:00 or so.
And I got home and I actually didn't go to bed right away because my sleep schedule is weird. So I farted around a little bit, uploading some things and getting some things organized. And then I slept straight through until about 11 o'clock in the morning. Got up, hung out with my family for a little while. I bought my family lunch because I hadn't seen them in like 4 days. So I went and got some Chinese food for the family. And I watched football. And then I just fucking laid around and passed out. And it was rough because I was so tired that when I went to get Chinese food around like noon, I was like, I was really tired. And I'm like, well, I want to watch football. I want to watch the Pats game. So I'll grab an energy drink while I'm out, help me stay up. And I pounded it, threw the can away. And then like halftime, it's probably like not even like 3 o'clock, 2:30ish in the afternoon. I was like fighting to keep my eyes open.
Yeah.
So I was really tired. It was also nice to take a shit in the bathroom without the pressure of like 40 people in line waiting for the stall. And it's fantastic. There's a press bathroom. There's press bathrooms at New York Comic Con in the press area, and they are for the men. I don't know what's going on in the girls' room, but the men's side is one urinal, one stall. And it was great to not have to wait in a super long line, but every now and then the wait for the stall would back up. So a couple of times I went there and I had to use the men's room, and like you just feel all this pressure because there's like 5-6 people outside waiting to use it. So you just try to go really fast. It was nice to not have to deal with that. So I just slept all day today, ran a couple errands. I shipped out Justin from Epic Film Guy's poster that I bought for him, and did laundry for all the dirty clothes I had, put away all my toiletries and backpacks and stuff, and sleeping on and off. And I got to go to work tonight.
Hey.
So I got to go to work tonight, and that's the excitement, getting ready to, do it all again, in 4 weeks.
Shut up. All right. So this is going to be a super duper long episode of the podcast. Thanks again to everyone for riding with us for so long. And, I say we keep all of our lessons learned for next year. Aubrey, make sure your train isn't at 3 a.m.
Mark's lesson is he's not going.
Yeah, I was going to say the part of Mark will be played by somebody else next year because my ass is staying home.
I think Josh is going with me next year.
Goddamn right.
So, we got a bunch of... Adam's been uploading videos already. It's Monday as we record this part of the episode, and we've already got 2 episodes up on YouTube. 2 videos up on YouTube. The first was the first of 3 cosplay videos that we made, and also his interview with Bart Silberman, who is the VP of Sales and Licensing for Super 7, which is a awesome toy company that makes like retro style action figures and other cool stuff on a whole variety of licenses. So that's actually a really interesting interview he did at their booth on the on the show floor. We're trying to get 1 video a day uploaded throughout the week. So check that out. Tons of pictures on Facebook and Instagram, and obviously this podcast. So let's get some recommendations. Let's wrap it up. We're all tired. We're dead. We're beat. Aubrey, what do you got after 3 days in New York City? What do you got to recommend to the listeners?
I recommend everybody check out Gundam Models. I've never seen so many Gundam models in my life. It was really cool. They had a huge Sazabi, which everybody could see on our pictures. It is next to impossible to find a Sazabi anywhere. So it was really awesome to get my hands on one. They are, again, next to impossible to find. So amazing to try to find one. And recommend everybody check out the new Hunger Games book that is coming out. The first series is amazing, so I cannot imagine that this new book that's coming out is going to be any less than amazing, because those books are phenomenal. They're written so well. I love them. They're so good. The new Picard show that is coming out, the newest trailer dropped while we were at New York Comic Con. It is phenomenal. It showed Riker and Troy, and their children are in it. This is the first time showing Riker is in it with Troy, which is super exciting. I love Riker. He is one of my favorite characters, hands down. Just absolutely one of my favorite characters. So I'm super stoked that he's going to be in it. Also, new trailers for Star Trek Discovery were shown at New York Comic Con, which was also equally as exciting. I'm a little bit partial to Picard just because I love Picard and I love The Next Generation. But the new Star Trek Discovery trailers dropped as well, which is also awesome. The Birds of Prey costumes looked pretty cool, so maybe that is something to say about Birds of Prey as well. We'll see. I don't know. I still think it's going to be stupid, but I don't know. The costumes looked pretty cool when we saw them in person. Me and Joey went down there and checked them out. Seeing them up close and personal was kind of cool, a little bit more relatable. So,
Marcellus, how about you? What do you got recommending for the listeners out there?
Just once again, want to recommend everyone check out Ghost Nation. When you hear this episode, hopefully it'll be out the week before the show comes out. The start date is October 11th on the Travel Channel. Shout out to Jason, Dave, and Steve for being so cool. Check out Ghost Nation on Travel Channel on October 11th.
Yeah, we got to see previews of it. It looks really cool. So I'll be watching that as well. I have a recommendation. Picked up a comic at the con from Boom Studios. James Tynion IV's Something is Killing the Children. It's a kind of a riff on It, Chapter 1. And there's a small town, and there's a bunch of kids, and something is serial killing children in town. And that's as much as I'll give away. It's definitely a horror book, and it's very personal and very intimate, and it's freaking awesome so far. So hopefully it keeps it up. I'll be picking up subsequent issues. Again, huge shout outs to everybody at Reed Pop for allowing us to attend New York Comic Con as press. Huge shout outs to Mark, Aubrey, and Adam for going and putting up with me and going and dealing with the craziness of New York Comic Con. It was so much fun. We'll be there next year, hopefully. And shout out to you, the listener. Check out the podcast. Check out all our social media. Check out our YouTube channel. Lots of content coming there as well from New York Comic Con. Go see Joker. We'll be reviewing that next week on the podcast. But that is going to do it for episode number 270 of the So Wizard podcast. I've been your host, Joey DiCarlo. My very tired co-hosts are the queen of all nerds, Aubrey Litchfield.
Good night, New York.
And the expert, Mr. Marquis Marcellus Reagans.
I am done with this. Wakanda forever.
See you in 4 weeks at Rhode Island Comic Con. Sorry, Mark. Good journey.